What's up guys, and welcome back to On the Brick with another edition of On the Mock. If for any reason you didn't know, I do have a Discord and you can find the link to that in the description down below. And last month we ran our first ever mock contest. Not gonna lie, it was kind of a proof of concept more than anything, but I definitely have ideas for newer contests in the future, including some on here. Right now I'm just waiting on external forces to move some of those along though, so hopefully they can happen soon. The top 3 places of the mock contest did receive prizes on Discord, and the number 1 winner was told that they would be showcased on the mock. What I didn't tell the mods or anyone else was that I'm just going to be showcasing everyone. Sorry guys, it just makes this a lot easier for me. Now I will be showing them off in no particular order except for saving the best for last. Because, well, the guy did win the contest. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at what some of you submitted. First off is a very active member of the community, Chars. Why do I always feel like I've shown off sets before? Am I just repeating what I'm showing off? Anyway, this is a 2-in. It has about 500 to 600 pieces and took about 6 hours over 3 days to build. A 2-in is piloted by a man only known as ST. The ship is able to fly in space and can swim in water since the wings can hinge forward to almost 90 degrees. Its interior has a bed that comes down from a wall, along with a table and some crates, and of course a cockpit that can hold only 1 person. What I really love about space is that you don't need things to be aerodynamic. They can literally be any shape that you want, because if it's in space, then who cares? I do think this ship would probably struggle in water, but I also don't know. I mean, this is a fake universe, of course, so anything is possible. But I do love the inclusion of the interior here, and I really get like a Han Solo vibe off of this, you know, if Han Solo was alone. Or I guess you could say solo. And maybe it's just me, but I definitely get Lone Star vibes off of that character. Moving on from another active user, Truffles does Lego Comes the Betrayal. This is a mock depicting Order 66 at the Jedi Temple and is roughly 300 pieces and took only a few hours to design. It's important to remember that when the mock contest was announced, only entries built after the announcement were accepted. For instance, I have a ton of mocks to go through still in this series, but none of those were allowed because they were done before the announcement of this contest. We also only gave contestants, I believe it was 3 weeks, to be able to make their build. Something which will definitely be expanded in future contests in one way or another. The reason I'm saying this is because when I say something like this is the Jedi Temple, it's incredibly unrealistic to expect that to be a full Jedi Temple. Unless your name is Rich Boy J, you're just not gonna do that in 3 weeks. I will admit, I'm personally a little confused as to why there's like a tree, though I'm guessing that's supposed to just be an archway or something. Either way, I do really like how this turned out. The Jedi characters are fig barfs that he himself put together, and I'm sure with more time they would have been able to expand this to be even more. But moving on, we go to a build that a lot of people were surprised didn't win, and this one comes from Yeetus Reedus 928. What an interesting name. This is simply titled Newberry Beach. Yeetus explains that they really enjoyed the lighthouse set from the hidden side so much that they modified it into a full beach. While its placement doesn't really make much sense, they really enjoyed the process of making this come to life. And yeah, this is a really nice build. Again, a lot of people expected this one to win. However, I do believe that I and the mods kind of faltered in explaining the rules here, because the focus of this build is the lighthouse, which is not a mock and it's not a custom build. Now, don't get me wrong, the rest of this is a custom build, like the landscape and all that is custom made, and all of us definitely took that into account when voting. Which, since I brought it up, I do just want to very quickly mention that we did come up with a voting system which, in my opinion, was extremely fair. In future contests, we will definitely be keeping that voting system, and yeah, point being, I do love all the landscape work on this mock. I thought that he did an incredible job with it, and am super interested to see what else they can come up with in the future. Now, the next build is one that I am not gonna lie, I was actually really disappointed in. When I saw that this person had entered into the contest, I immediately thought of all the wonderful things that I've seen them create for this series specifically. Well, because they want to, but they share it for this series. And I can get away with saying that I was disappointed by their sets, specifically because they're going to get an entire video of their own with all of their wonderful creations. But this is the Raider Outpost from Ivy, also known as Bit on Rebrickable. This is about 500-ish pieces and took maybe 3 hours to build. It is a modified Theta-class shuttle landed near some unsuspecting ruins to repair the ship, just to find out it was a Raider Outpost. Apologies for my voice, it is just shot today. Now, this is not a bad build by any means, it just shows the difference of what one can do when they have literally any piece that they want in studio compared to a limited availability in person. Now, for the record, the build was required to be done in person, and I believe Ivy did mention how that would limit them. This is also a really good learning opportunity for anyone who wants to run contests of their own or to judge other people's work. Please don't judge other people's work unless you're doing it in contest form. With a build like this, it's incredibly important to actually try and look beyond the colors used and at the build itself. This is a very technical build, not talking like Millennium Falcon's level technical. But unfortunately, I do think that the mismatch of colors does take away from this build for certain people. Also, this little robot thing can actually move, and it reminds me of Chars from Interstellar, which I'm definitely going to watch tonight. If you haven't seen the other stuff that Bit has made, well, in the next episode of On the MOC, I'm probably going to just be showing off a ton of their stuff because it's seriously awesome. This MOC comes from a guy named Bottle. It contains between 250 and 500 pieces and took about 2 to 5 hours to make. They also included a small backstory. Late in the Galactic Civil War, an Imperial-controlled planet is being highly contested for its factories, natural resources, and most importantly, its nearby trade routes. If the rebellion wins the battle, they'll have a foothold that'll end the Empire for good. But if the Empire's defense of the planet could hold out until the reinforcements arrive, they'll easily crush the rebellion's invasion. This particular scene is depicting a stormtrooper sniper hiding in an abandoned Imperial base that was directly hit with a low-powered turbo laser shot. Oh, and apparently this is called hidden in an old base or something like that. Making a destroyed building or area is an aspect of building that sounds easy, but is actually more challenging than it seems. You can't just throw pieces on there and make a mess. Even in destroyed buildings, even in carnage and whatnot, there is still a method to the madness. Think about it. If a bomb goes off, investigators can locate the exact location of the detonation based solely off of the debris around it. Okay, and usually there's a crater. What I'm trying to say is that it's really easy just to throw a bunch of pieces and call it debris. It's hard to do it right. You can see the different floors, you can see them collapse, you can see like the broken walls, the carnage. I do wish we would have gotten a view of this from the other side. And I also have to wonder how the sniper got up there, but obviously I'm assuming this is just like a snippet of a larger building. My one and only qualm with this was that it did feel a little too cluttered. If this was hit by a low-powered shot, I feel like there wouldn't be so much damage here. Still a very nice build though. Moving on, we go to Dark Lord of the Sith 2. This is simply a port in Mandalore where one of Maul's commandos is attacking a gunship and has already killed 2 clones, but there is backup on the way and a Mandalorian is fighting the commando in hand-to-hand combat. Dark Lord of the Sith 2, I am so sorry, but I am going to call you out a little bit here. Because while this is a nice scene with a nice story, there's not really any custom element about it. This one picture that I'm showing on screen is the only custom area made. The rest is just placement, really. There's a word for this that I am just not remembering at the moment. So in similar fashion to the lighthouse build, we had to exclude the gunship from this build because it's an actual Lego set, of course, and not something that Dark Lord himself made. But with all that said, let's go on to the winner. And I am just gonna give a little bit of a heads up here. I know some of you are gonna be disappointed by this. But from Co-op Brickyards is this speeder. But this is the 74Z speeder bike and contains about 65 pieces. And the reason that I like this one the best was because it's actually incredibly difficult to make a speeder like this in this scale. This is minifig scale, and I'm sure there are a lot of weird techniques used here, but it just looks really good. This looks like an official thing, or maybe even something you would find on Brick Vault, though I don't know if they would ever actually sell it. But in all honesty, a build like this does show that there is some level of skill and understanding of MOCs and LEGO to be able to make it. Yes, it is a small speeder bike, but there's a lot that goes into making it. However, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below, and what kind of MOC contests would you like to see? Not gonna lie, I already know what's gonna come next, but I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. A huge shout out to all of my patrons for their awesome and continued support. Really, these things are not possible without you. As always, a special thank you to Jonathan and Project Elements. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.